What's up, everybody? Carpo. I just got home. I'm ready to talk about, well, it's bad for you. That was my inspiration for the day. It's bad for you. I guess many of the older generation will know what that means, but it was a George Carlin. Anyone who knows Carlin will know what it means. And I've been thinking about it for a while now, how everything is bad for you. And I was thinking, now, is there anything in our society that isn't deemed bad by someone else? Thinking, no. Somebody hates Ford, somebody hates Chevy. There's always somebody who doesn't like something. And so it's like, in the same sense, there's always somebody who thinks something is bad for you. And a lot of things are bad for us. Everything is bad for us. In fact, if you want to go to the extreme, you could take oxygen. It oxidizes your body. Oxygen is actually killing you. I mean, how far do you take it, right? People drown from drinking too much water because they're trying to stay hydrated. Anyway, I had the craziest notion that when I was younger that there might be something that's actually good for us. And I found that. And it is positive thinking, good values, moral judgment. Those are the things that fill the soul and nourish the body. There are ascetics who eat almost nothing. And yeah, they're skinny. And a lot of them are really sickly looking. The point is that they come out of it. And so, I think about some of the people who lived through the Holocaust and some of those really hardcore times, or people who went through maybe POW, prisoner of war, who was held captive for years, beaten, tortured, starved, and came out half alive, and end up living to be 95 years old and telling the tale about it. And what we do temporarily to our bodies is not the instigator of our downfall. It's how we continue to punish our bodies in certain ways. People talked about how lead cans, let's say lead and tin cans, back in the old days when they first started making tin cans, for the war, for the soldiers, it was a great thing. But eventually they learned that the metal probably wasn't a good idea. So now today they line them with plastic. And people think, oh, I don't want to drink out of a plastic bottle. I like, I'm going to drink out of a can. It's still plastic. Or people say, I don't like drinking out of a can. I want, and the thing of it, let's take plastic for example. That's another Carlin topic. But plastic, it's one of those things that is so unnatural, yet so natural, because it does break down. In fact, it breaks down a lot faster than we thought, but it's still a horrible thing. It's not so much we're worried about the earth dying of plastic. The earth's not gonna, nothing's, birds will die temporarily, animals will be harmed by the plastic, but eventually it will degrade, and it will go back to the earth from where it came. And in the meantime, we have to deal with it, which is the biggest issue for us, I think. If it's out of sight, out of mind, that's one thing, but we're way overproducing it. And there's the fossil fuel issue. That's the main issue behind plastic. But the health effects of plastic, I've heard people talk about how bad it is and how, they've obviously discovered that they make BPA-free baby bottles now, because it's the bisphenol A that's actually, has been shown to be harmful. But it's not about plastic, it's about everything. I've had a lot of people lately tell me not to eat wheat. And I'm like, I like wheat. I like bread. I don't think wheat kills people. I understand monoculture, and I understand what we've done with food, but think of it this way. There are plenty of people out there who live on Ensure and drink nothing but nutrient, processed nutrient rich milk, basically, or whatever it is. just like a baby can live and grow and get strong and be active on nothing but formula. So a person, theoretically, I mean, we know that we can live on liquid diets, and that there's fruitarians who eat nothing but fruit. And that doesn't work for everyone. But any diet you stay on long enough, you're bound to build up a tolerance to, say, defecation, if I may say. Certain foods may give you diarrhea, other ones may clog you up, but eventually if you stick with a certain food long enough, your body adjusts to it. Certain foods your body will never adjust to. Some people are lactose intolerant, some people are gluten intolerant, and it's getting worse as our society becomes more tight-knit and our foods become worse. But here's what I'm getting at, is that I haven't found anything yet that somebody doesn't say is bad for you in the food world. There are people that despise corn, and there are people that despise wheat, people that despise dairy products, meats. I mean, and all I can say that's been conclusively proven is that living a vegan, vegetarian style diet, supposedly, according to the studies, which they did over a long period of time, I guess, they say that vegetarians live longer. Now, I would assume that much because, of course, they're eating healthier foods. That would be the obvious conclusion. But is it really just the fact that they're vegetarians, or is it the fact that a vegetarian has a mindset that's different? They may have more empathy for animals, more emotion for their environment. So perhaps it's not the vegetarian diet that's actually keeping the people alive longer, but rather the vegetarian outlook on life. And that's what all this comes down to for me. I see it as the ultimate way to live healthy and happily for a long time is to live with a good mind, living with integrity and with values, with family, and most of all, not pushing against the flow. But when it comes to eating, I really can't say that I'm a food expert, so I can't tell people what is and isn't bad for them, and I don't think anybody can. I really think that there are cultures out there who have, let's take the wheat for example. There are cultures out there who mostly eat just breads and then dairy, say farmers in certain rural areas of other parts of the world. And some of these people live to be well over 100 years old, even though it's monoculture. And so it's obviously not, the food's not killing these people. There's farmers who grew up eating red meat, and pig, and just mowing and chomping, and they're like 95 years old and they're still on the farm working. And the Chinese, the Japanese with all the weird stuff they eat, we're always like, ew, it's disgusting, but they live to be much older than we do. So it leads one to think that it's the culture that really perpetuates longevity, because the culture dictates how a person feels. And I think we feel let down in our society because we built values on material goods, so we have this idea that we're going to attain this happiness, but it can always be stripped away from us. When you have values, it can never be taken. No amount of money could ever buy value, and no thief could ever take it from you. And a trusting, honest man can never be cheated. So being honest with oneself about what you're eating is important. And everything is bad to someone, so I don't know where to go with it. I've just kind of stepped away from the whole thing. I let my body dictate what I eat. I let my mind tell me. I ask the universe, what do you want me to eat? What would be the best thing for my body right now? Two people are standing side by side. One person may really need a soda or a sugary drink. Maybe they need to get their blood sugar up. The other person may need something completely different. Each person in their own individual situation. Diabetics need different food, and there are, I think, more subtle conditions that we don't quite understand yet, but that are brought upon by generations of DNA, you know, undergoing alterations within the environment. And, you know, if enough families eat a certain amount of food, you know, then it's going to be, you know, we're going to build up tolerance and resistance to certain things. Like there's parts of the world where people can't drink milk. I think in Japan they don't drink, or maybe it's China, certain parts of China, I think. Well, they can't process milk because they're all lactose intolerant because it's in their genetics. So, just likewise, and there's gluten intolerance to certain degrees. But, everything's bad to somebody, right? So, I guess the only thing I can say is to let your body, ask your heart, ask your body what it needs, what it wants. And if you follow it right, I think a person will be much happier. Man, it's hot out here. It sounds like I have a crying kid. Oh well. It's been a long day. I try not to punish myself when I do things that I know I shouldn't do, when I eat foods I shouldn't eat. But I could extend this to go to so many different facets. I mean, I stuck with food, but and a little bit about plastic, but this extends to so many different things. How about radiation? Radiation in small doses is good for you. You know, it actually is, you know, our bodies feed on the radiation, you know, from the universe in certain ways, subtle ways we don't understand. But too much will kill you. And that's kind of the way it is with everything. Too much will kill you. You hear that all the time. It's just like the water thing I said. People really do drown from drinking too much water. Their body becomes oversaturated, and it's horrible. Horrible thing to imagine, you know. Such a innocent mistake could kill a person. So use your head. I mean, just use your head. You don't have to listen to other people tell you what you need, but you have to open your mind to what people say, because you have to be aware that some foods are not healthy. And everything in moderation. Walk the middle path, because it's all about the middle path, but only to the extent that you have to swerve from side to side a little bit once in a while. So don't beat yourself up if you want to drink a cup of coffee. I mean, don't beat yourself up if you want to have an energy drink, or if you want to, you know, eat some sugary food or whatever it may be. But man, guess I better go. Keep getting interrupted. I can't finish the damn video. Using our heads together. It's bad for you.